And that is when we are starting this episode. Right there with that noise. No fucking lead up to it, just...
Bomb hit music.
So, 3 minutes-ish is where that starts, if you want to write that one down.
Okay. Noted. Man, it's been a long day playing video games.
We've been playing the fuck out of some video games today.
Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Fuck yes.
That's
I
a good
love that
spectator
game.
sport, too.
It is, yeah. I'm terrible at it, and I love it.
That's bullshit. You were beating ass. Well,
Yeah,
no, your brother's like that.
Yeah.
Like before with you a little bit.
My sister-in-law's the best at it, but she just had a baby, so...
I've never seen her play.
Huh? Oh, yeah, you've never played online with her?
No.
Yeah. She's like a chicken horse savant. So this is the Higher Minds Podcast.
Higher Minds Podcast.
I'm Scott.
I'm Papa Darby. How are you guys?
Good to hear.
Call in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a different topic today.
Yeah.
It's not a sort of intellectual type of topic this time.
Fuck that shit. But it required more reading than I thought it would.
It did, yeah. I got so bored reading the other day.
But yeah, what are we talking about? Yeah, epic rap battles of history.
I love their intro.
Yeah.
Each time it just gets worse.
Which one did we mentioned this 2 episodes ago?
2 or 3? I don't even know now.
What fucking episode was this was a Sam Little episode? Yeah,
Maybe?
It was a Sam Little because it was before the Kokesh episode.
Okay, yeah.
What episode is this? 17?
16? 17?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, and we actually have some. Our listenership keeps on going up. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
You know what? Email us at highermindspodcast@gmail.com, and we'll start talking about you and to you directly to you.
Yeah.
For your little earbuds.
Yeah.
Just you personally, you and us, our mouth to your ears. You know you want that.
You guys couldn't see his eyebrows while he was doing that. That was way creepier sitting across the table from him.
One man's creepy is another man's sex. Anyway, so yeah.
What are some of your favorite ones before we get to picking them apart and shit?
Oh, you know what? One of my favorite ones was Catherine the Great. Oh shoot, who was it? Oh, damn it. Anyway, I just remember it wasn't hers. It was. Oh, it was. I forget. I don't know. Fuck it.
The Russian one, though, right?
It was the Russian.
I know
one,
when you're
yeah.
talking, but I can't
Rasputin.
Think.
Was it Rasputin?
Was
no,
it Rasputin? He was in.
Oh no! It was Peter the Great. Fuck. It was Russian. It was the Russian peoples.
Yeah.
But hers was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was yours?
Hulk Hogan versus Kim Jong-il.
I didn't hear that one at all.
Solely because of the Macho Man cameo.
Actually, one of my favorite ones is one of the ones I did cover, which was the Bill Nye and Isaac Newton.
I bet this is the one you're talking about was Alexander the Great versus Ivan the Terrible.
That's the one.
Because in my notes here, I have, quote, hella cameos, and I was stoned as shit watching that. And I'm like, haha, hella and I wrote it down. I'm like, I'm going to laugh at that later. And Jaime was right about future Jaime.
So smart. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, lots of historical shit in that too I had written down. But yeah, hella cameos.
Oh, fuck. Going in and researching this shit, there's those guys. I don't know how those guys fucking do all of those.
I read something about them. They spend hours researching this shit, figuring out how the hell they could do this before they even start writing the music.
I spent hours researching the shit.
They're like
picking it apart.
Us, but way more creative.
Yeah. We'll get there. We got it. We got this. Maybe we'll start doing videos eventually.
The James Bond Austin Powers one. Did you watch that one?
I didn't watch that one either.
They're going back and forth about who gets the better chicks, right? And
Yeah.
Bond has a line that says all the chicks want to be on D. And I thought it was fucking funny.
That's
Be on D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bond.
Yeah. B-O-N-D.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Something I did discover because I
Okay.
started listening to this with my kids. These aren't children friendly.
No, not really. No.
I didn't realize that. Like, I've heard them before and I love them, but I didn't realize how not kid friendly they are until I started listening to them with my kids.
How old are your kids?
12 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah. The 12-year-old.
The 12-year-old, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I can't do much about her.
Right.
But yeah, then I felt so stupid when the 9-year-old was listening.
Well, he plays video games online, right? Like,
He
he's
does.
heard this.
I'm sure. There's some dude named Markiplier that he said, "Hey, Dad, I really like listening to this guy." So I started listening to this guy. Say like, "Fuck this, fucking ass, motherfucking this game, fuck, cock, suck my balls," and like, yeah. So I told my son, "You find something else to listen to. That's crazy."
See, and I always made fun of people that would watch people play video games online. But at the same time, I'll fucking spend hours watching the angry video game nerd and shit. Like I just watch people play old video games online.
Yeah, well, I still don't even do that. In fact, when my kids are over, we watch they watch all sorts of YouTube. I instantly also watch all sorts of YouTube, and I don't. What happened to good old network TV? Fucking.
See, and YouTube's like my main source of entertainment. I have a shit ton of people I'm subscribed to, and
really
every night I get home and I got probably a good 2-3 hours worth of content I could watch. Like I could sit down and watch TV for the night, just like a normal person would watching network TV.
Yeah. So no, I don't use YouTube like that. I use other apps like network shit to do that.
See, and I don't know. I like supporting like independent media over great big corporations, I guess.
And I get that, and I support the idea of that, but I also am more entertained by.
We are that.
I know, and so I'm a douche. Like I fucking suck for all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather watch, I don't know, say Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch / Vet Ranch / Off the Ranch. Dude runs 3 channels with over 1 million subscribers each.
Oh, no clue.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Pretty big gun channel, Demolition Ranch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I started watching him. He started out doing custom homemade shotgun shells.
Really? Like
he takes shotgun shells, cuts the top of them off, and just dumps the lead out and sticks shit in them. Like, that's what he started out as, and I found him way back then. So I've been watching this guy on YouTube for like
a
6, 8
blunderbuss
years, probably.
kind of thing.
Huh?
Like a blunderbuss kind of thing?
Ish. Like, you can take a shotgun shell, pop the lead out of it, like dump the lead out, stick in, I remember needles was one of the ones that like sewing needles. He stuck it full of
holy fuck
sewing needles, like flechettes. Loaded it in there, jammed the fuck out of a shotgun, because it's not meant to have needles in it, and shot it into like a pumpkin, and it didn't do that much. Like, it would hurt like a motherfucker, but it didn't penetrate much.
Oh. Ow.
Play-Doh was one of the more destructive ones.
Play-Doh? Like,
yep.
Yeah, that would come out like a slug, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play-Doh does some damage out of a shotgun.
If you know anything about like non-Newtonian materials, and so that is a material that does not act like Newtonian.
Use your science words.
So it's like if you push on it harder, it pushes back harder, like goo, that kind of material. So I would imagine it would act that way. Water, well, not waters. I think no. I don't know if water is actually non-Newtonian because it's one of the few things that expands as it freezes, which is one of the reasons that it's important for life. It's just
that's why it floats.
Those properties, yeah, that kind of shit. For life on the planet, that is. What did you? Hard segue. Who the fuck did you cover?
One of the ones that I wanted to focus on was the one with the Eastern versus Western philosophers. Did you watch that one?
No, I didn't watch it. Oh, no? I think I saw that a while ago, but no.
It's Confucius, Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, versus Socrates, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Voltaire.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I did Zuckerberg v. Musk. I did Gates versus Jobs, and I did Newton versus Nye. Before we tell you,
interesting that you took 3 videos and I only took 1, and we still ended up with the same number of people.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I thought I went kind of lazy on this, but you only have 6 people too. I'm like, I'll even it out. Like,
I got 3 pages of notes. I mean, for anybody who's listening, 3 pages of notes for both of us, turns into about an hour and a half of the podcast.
yeah, give or take.
So we try to stay slower than that.
We started making longer and longer ones towards the beginning, and then we realized that we were taking way too many notes.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
So
We don't need that. Nobody wants to listen to that shit.
yeah, nobody needs a 2-hour podcast listening to our dumbasses. So
Anyway, but before we tell you about our shit, what is our
the weed of the week. This week we're smoking Mob Boss.
Mob Balls.
Sativa with 23.4% THC.
Yummy.
How do you open this?
To open the jar.
The child-proof container is also stoner-proof, apparently. Ooh.
He's giving it a whiff for those of you.
I don't know what.
What do you think it smells like? Email us and tell us what this Mob Boss smells like. He's blowing it into the mic. You can smell it. Yeah.
If you can smell that you're having a stroke, pull over immediately. My dad has had multiple strokes. I feel like that makes it like I'm allowed to make stroke jokes. My dad's a cat.
A cat.
He is early 50s. He's had a heart attack.
Really?
Half a dozen strokes, probably, no exaggeration. He's diabetic. And just a couple months ago, he walked into the doctor's office with a heart rate of 20 beats per minute.
That's slow.
Yeah, that's 1 beat every 3 seconds. And he walked into the place.
Not quickly. He didn't run there. Wow. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's early 50s with a pacemaker now.
So, he sounds like an American.
Yeah. He finally quit smoking, though.
This time?
This time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 6 strokes. 6 strokes and a heart attack. That didn't stop him, but 20 beats a minute, that'll get your attention, I guess.
Did he need to, quote-unquote, give the medicine something to do?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, I need to eat fat because I gotta have my cholesterol medicine. I gotta give my cholesterol medicine something to do. That kind of shit.
I don't know. He's been taking more pills than I can count for years now.
No.
You gonna pass that?
I don't take cholesterol medicine.
Why did you hand me your bowl? I got my own bowl.
I don't know.
You got a fancy new bowl, though.
I do got a bowl. I'm gonna take a picture of this and I'm gonna post it.
It kind of looks like a gavel. You look official as fuck with that.
Yes. We call this bowl the judge. I went for corn cob. A glass corn cob.
It does kind of have a glass corn cob look to it.
Yeah. But they said gavel too, so I guess we'll... No, use a gavel first. That's right.
No, I think it was Kay said about gavel first, actually.
Well, whatever.
This Mob Boss is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. So since you got 3 of them, do you want to start off?
Sure.
That way you're not just bringing up the tail?
Sure. So what I did is I took each of them and then I went through some of their references. Went through a lot of their references, but not all of their references, and then just kind of explained what they're talking about.
Oh, side note, we're going to play a game of Is It Racist here in a little bit, too. Because I watched one of these and I went, ooh, that might be racist. But then I'm like, I got a black best friend. I can check if this one's racist.
So, yeah. So we'll do that later.
Yeah.
And for sensitive
I've been excited for this for like a week.
That sounds scary. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do. Like, I told him I'll just do this during the recording. So I don't know what the fuck. But, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just got excited.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mark Zuckerberg v. Elon Musk. So, in the beginning, Musk brings up the Winklevoss twins, and everybody knows them, but I'm going to tell you, according to The Social Network, the movie The Social Network, they were people who came up with the idea of a primitive Facebook, which Zuckerberg apparently stole, but admittedly he approved. It is a reference, but it's an interesting sentence. Zuckerberg in the thing says, I am the CEO, in the video says, I am the CEO of What You Think, Inc. Now, that is an obvious reference to Facebook having been known to use ethically questionable tactics to figure you out.
They know everything you know.
They do. They watch you masturbate. They watch me masturbate, but that's mostly because I record it and I post it on Facebook.
Is it weird that I've wondered if they watch you masturbate through your webcam before? But not you, like, specifically.
No, you
not to
me.
be weird.
That's
like,
okay. That's a
like, I wonder if there's some, like, CIA agent that just watches people jerk off for. Like that's his job.
You know what? I bet there's, like, there's probably 1,000 people. Out of the billions of people, there's probably 1,000 people who watches everybody masturbate at any given point.
But do they do it too?
I hope so.
Do they just have
my camera?
I'm just envisioning this like old wall of TV monitors. And just one dude just cranking it.
I mean, that's like the ideal setting for me. Just that and like a jar of Vaseline. Oh, yeah. See, but my situation is I put my phone, like, I prop it up right next to my taint. And, like, I'm laying on my back.
That's a weird viewing angle. I feel like that would hurt my neck.
You know, it gets the most likes. That went way off topic. That's way fucking left. Anyway. So Zuckerberg mentions apartheid bots, and that is a reference to Elon Musk's South American upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Apartheid was for their segregationist government, the minority ruling the majority up until the 90s. I thought it was until the 80s, but I discovered it was still the 90s.
Was it the 90s?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was 80s too.
It was 90s. Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first president after apartheid, I believe.
Yeah. Maybe.
We're going to go.
I know he used to stick tires around people's neck and set them on fire.
He did do that, but
yeah,
I mean,
that's a fucking terrible thing.
Apartheid.
But yeah, he's a good guy, right?
Nelson Mandela. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, whatever. No. Oh, this. I was only like, so I was sitting there next to you researching this, and I was about to mention this. So, did you know this about Zuckerberg mentions Musk's father? Elon Musk is his father. Do you know anything about him?
Not really, no.
He's 80 something or other. He ended up getting his stepdaughter, whom he knew from the age of 4, pregnant, and said it was God's will.
Yeah. It's a weird God.
Yeah. Well, I read a little more into it, and Musk thinks that he's a piece of shit. So he doesn't.
And this is father or stepfather? What did you say?
His father impregnated Errol. Musk's
father impregnated his father's stepdaughter.
Yes.
Okay.
So Musk's
stepsister. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know. I didn't read why Musk thinks his father's a piece of shit. That
might have something to do with it. Yeah.
But there might be other shit too. If that's probably not the only weird thing that ever happened by his father. I mean, yeah, that's not where you start. Is fucking your stepdaughter.
Elon Musk makes me feel like a lazy piece of shit. And I am a lazy piece of shit, admittedly, but like he makes me feel really bad about it.
I don't know why.
That motherfucker works non-stop.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway, so Zuckerberg on this epic rap battle says you were fated to Musk said you were fated like on a podcast. And that is a reference to Musk's appearance on the Rogan podcast and where he got stoned.
And I know you don't like Rogan, don't watch Rogan, listen to him, whatever. Have you seen that clip? I wouldn't
say that. I have seen that clip, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't even inhale. It was one puff off a cigar.
I didn't notice it that much.
He puffed it just like he'd puff a cigar. Like, didn't inhale it, just puff.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I inhale a lot. And then I do it again, repeatedly.
So you're not Bill Clinton?
No.
You don't lie about it?
No. No. I get stoned so much that's just normal.
It's weird seeing you not stoned. Like, you're just like a high-functioning stoner. You're just stoned constantly.
Yeah, but I'm always fucking busy. I'm always doing shit. But I'm always done doing shit.
And you do science shit, too. And that's the part that fucking blows my mind.
Well, you know what it is? What I do is the same thing that I used to do with my friends in high school. Is I used to get stoned and analyze the fuck out of everything. And that's what I do for a job now.
Yeah.
I get stoned and I analyze the fuck out of what they tell me to analyze.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. It's the adult version of hanging out in my friend's garage.
So back on topic.
Oh, I have in my notes, we would like to invite Musk to come get smoke pot on our podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Mr. Musk. Mr., right? He's not a doctor.
I don't think so. I think it might be him that says I don't have a PhD, but the people who work for me do. And I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
I think that was him. I might be misquoting him.
Yeah. But anyway, you are open invite to come on our show and smoke some weed with us and talk about shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will also accept a donation of a Tesla. I prefer the Model S, but I'll take it as 3, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Teslas are nice. I wouldn't kick one out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate new technology, but like that shit just blows my mind. Like that's future shit.
The future's when?
Right now?
No.
No.
It's now.
No.
It's right now. It's now. Anyway. One of the best lines that fucking Musk has is, "When I'm conquering my space, it's actual space, man." That's I thought he won that rap up right there.
I mean, Elon Musk is without a doubt the coolest billionaire on the planet right now.
You know what? I hear reports that he's a fucking asshole, and he very well could be, and I don't care. But he does cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of his work, for sure.
I never heard anybody call him an asshole. I've never really looked for people calling him an asshole, but in interviews and shit, he seems like a cool ass dude. And he launches cars into space and makes cars that do 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, and like that's a cool dude. He makes solar powered shit that can power your entire house, and I think they used it in New Zealand or some shit. Their grid went down and it clicked on before they knew it. Their grid went down or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not all him personally making that, but he's the money and the mind behind it.
If I had his resources, I would make a lot of the same decisions. Oh, one other line he says is something about Zuckerberg being able to lick his musky Dutch taint. As you know.
So, you're not a car guy, but I just had an idea, and I want to see somebody do it now.
Yeah.
An Ariel Atom is basically a grown-up go-kart. It's a roll cage with wheels.
Oh, okay.
I want an Ariel Atom.
Ariel Atom?
Mm-hmm.
ADAM?
I think it's ATOM.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
You can Google it or whatever, but yeah, Ariel Atom, they're basically a grown-up go-kart. I want to see somebody put electric motors in one of those, because they weigh fucking nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It
looks like a stripped-down Formula 1 car.
That's basically what it is a Formula 1. But yeah, that with electric motors would be fucking amazing.
Do they make that?
No, somebody can make that.
Does electricity generate that much torque?
I mean, I'm sure if you pull all the paneling off the Tesla Roadster, it would look something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody make a Tesla go-kart.
One more line I want to find out about this.
Okay.
Musk says to Zuckerberg that there's so many Russian bots on his on Facebook that he should call it the social network.
I do remember that line, yeah. Terminator versus RoboCop. Did you watch that one?
No, I didn't watch that one.
That had some great, classic one-liners in it.
Have you watched the new RoboCop with that one guy? Oh, fuck.
How new? Like a couple years old new?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I didn't know if they made another new one after that. Yeah.
I really, really like it.
I liked the first RoboCop, and that was it. RoboCop 2 and all.
The old one?
Yeah, the OG RoboCop.
I mean, I liked it when it came out, but I very much like the update.
The CGI in it is terrible, and I love it.
I don't remember. I haven't seen it in decades.
Got that one on VHS. You got to see my VHS collection earlier.
I did. You get more VHS than the person should know.
It's glorious.
That's a bunch of.
And H goes, "Do you even have a VH or what? A VCR?" Like he couldn't think of the word for a second.
That's funny.
Yeah. So some good one-liners in the Terminator RoboCop.
Just saying, all of that space that you're taking up takes up this space right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding up a small terabyte hard drive.
That doesn't look nearly as good on a shelf as all my collection does, though.
But can you imagine taking all those away and just putting that up there in the middle?
I'd have a much bigger living room.
Yeah. Anyway, so Terminator.
The Ghostbusters Mythbusters one. Did you see that one?
No.
They actually looked a lot like the people they were portraying.
Were they the people?
I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't see it.
We'll do the Is It Racist one now, too.
Yeah. What? Who is it?
It's, I find it here. It's Key and Peele, actually.
Is it actually them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's them playing people. Here it is. Michael Jordan versus Muhammad Ali. That's
Jesus. Is that Ghostbusters? That's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's a commercial.
Yeah, YouTube. Maybe we'll have commercials on our YouTube channel someday.
Fluid. There we go. Okay. So this is the one that I was watching, and I was like, "Oh, is that racist?" And then I'm like, "I got a black friend. I'll find out if it's racist." So for those listening at home, this is going to be Michael Jordan versus Muhammad Ali, epic rap battles of history. Did you catch the racist part?
So, the most racist thing I noticed about that was fucking Jordan Peele's in blackface.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm watching. No, is that P or is that Key? Key and Peele?
It's Peele.
I don't know. The tall, bald-headed one.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I've
only ever seen them together. I don't know which one is which.
I've seen them separate and still don't. No, Michael Keegan Peele. Michael Keegan Peele. I don't know who the fuck that. Sorry, guys, if you ever listen to this, my fucking bad. But the one playing Jordan,
yeah,
the tall bald one, not doing the
guy that's not directing movies now,
right? I want to say Twilight Zone because check that out. Not him is in blackface.
Yeah.
For Jordan.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, is he in blacker face?
Blacker face. That's racist. You can't say that. But I think it is. I'm not sure, but they could do anything now, and it's not racist.
Yeah, but I saw that, and I'm like, is that racist? Turns out me thinking it was racist was the racist part.
So no, that was a good question. I didn't know what kind of thing you would come up with. Yes, that I would have questioned my blacker friends. Anyway, so.
So let's take a hard turn here and start talking about some philosophy. How about that?
Sophie. What does philosophy mean?
Fuck if I know.
It means love of knowledge.
Oh, okay. So the episode Eastern Philosophers versus Western Philosophers. That's hard to say sometimes. So the episode is Confucius versus Sun Tzu versus...
Sun Tzu.
No, those aren't persons. Confucius, Sun Tzu, and Lao Tzu versus Socrates, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Voltaire. And what I did, I just got a little blurb about each of them.
Okay.
Because I didn't know, other than Confucius jokes and the Art of War, I didn't know anything about the Eastern ones.
Do you know some Confucius jokes?
What's a good one?
What is the one that
Confucius say, man who goes to the airport with erection going to Bangkok.
A man who stands on toilet is high on pot. Can we say? I don't know if we can. Those might be racist too. I don't know.
Do you get the minority pass card on that one though?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm white as fuck, so
he got he gets a pass for the blacker face, but but no, he shouldn't do that. It's setting the wrong example. It's like smoking in front of your kids. You can't do blackface in front of white people.
Okay. Blacker face.
Yeah, blacker face.
So Confucius lived 551 to 479 BC. Emphasized personal and government morality, correctness of social relationships, justice and sincerity. That's the one I'm trying to not say right. Champion strong family loyalty, ancestral veneration, respect to elders by their children, and respect to husbands by their wives. He recommended a family as the basis for an ideal government.
What does that mean? Like a monarchy? Like the kings of the dead?
I think so.
They have emperors there.
Yeah, they had emperors in China.
Yeah. To this day, they do.
Chinese history is weird. Like, we're not taught it in school at all, so I have no idea when the hell they did what. Like,
there's a lot of really interesting stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interesting stuff.
What the fuck was that video game? Dynasty Warriors. You ever play that one?
No. What was it?
It was PS2. It was different famous Chinese kings and warlords and warriors and shit, and you just rode around killing the hell out of each other. Me and my brother used to play it a lot.
Oh. Cool. No.
Yeah. It was this one dude.
It was like an RPG kind of thing?
No, it was like a third person. I don't know how to. Military conquest game, maybe?
Like Risk?
It was like a beat 'em up game, but like you had to conquer territory in each level and shit.
Have you ever played Risk?
Like you had to, yeah.
So not like that.
No, not like Risk. No. I don't know. It was cool. I bet my brother still has it. I should borrow it from him next time I'm in Ohio and see him.
Yeah.
Good game. There was this one dude who was tall, and I think he had a big stick. And he was fucking unstoppable. So we made it a rule that you couldn't play him, because it was too fucking hard to beat each other. He valued people over property. There's a story about his horse barn burning down and killing all his horses.
Oh, no.
And the first thing he says was, "Is everybody okay?" Not worrying about the barn or all his horses and all the shit in there, just, "Is everybody okay?"
So he doesn't think the horses are people, too?
No. Horses are not people.
Some people think that horses
are horses. Of course.
Of courses?
Yes. Oh, horses, of course. What the fuck is that from? Why do I remember that?
It's Mr. Ed.
Okay.
You fucking millennial.
How many people my age do you think know a fucking Mr. Ed reference, though?
I don't know. I kind of want to say that to my kids and see what they say about
it. He's quoted as saying, "What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others."
That's a golden rule.
Basically, yeah. It's known as the silver rule because of the negative turn on it, basically.
What? A negative turn?
The negative turn on it.
What's the negative turn on it?
What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others.
Oh, like the phrasing is
right. Exactly.
Negative.
Yeah.
It's called the silver rule.
Yeah, because he did it backwards.
I think it's called silver rule because the fucking Westerners didn't want to make an Eastern saying more valuable than a Western saying. I think it's cultural. I think it's demand. Fuck demand. Hashtag taxation is theft. Yeah.
See, you joke, but you're coming around.
No, I believe all of it, honestly. I'm still not an anarchist.
Sun Tzu is the next rapper in this rap battle. Lived 544 to 496 BC. So he and
almost as
Confucius would have overlapped. You've met my mom. She's a lovely 50-something-year-old woman.
She's a lovely 50-something-year-old woman. Whatever.
Sun Tzu was a Chinese general, military strategist.
Strategist?
Yes, military strategist, writer and philosopher. Most famous for authoring The Art of War.
Which is still used today. It's
still used
taught
today.
at like West Point and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've evolved much beyond it, but the principles are pretty much
some
the
of
same.
it's still very valid today.
And honestly, it's used in corporate settings and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good strategy.
He focuses more on alternatives to battle, such as strategic delay, use of spies, making and keeping alliances with other countries and forces and whatnot, use of deceit, and the willingness to submit, at least temporarily, when met with the superior force.
Sacrificing pawns and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was this? Birth name was Sun Hua.
How'd that change?
Sun Tzu means master sun.
S-O-N-S-U-N.
S-U-N.
Oh. Well.
So it's like a title, I guess.
What was his original name?
Sun Wu.
So what would that mean?
Wu would have just been a surname, I guess. Whatever the hell his family name was.
Oh, so like his family name was Sun.
Oh yeah,
and
I
he
guess
was
so.
Master Sun.
I guess so.
Like,
yeah, I guess their names are backwards, right?
So it's a title.
Yeah.
Rather than like calling you.
Yeah, it's more of a
Master
title than a name, I guess.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting.
But yeah, they still teach The Art of War at West Point and shit today, and when the hell was that? It was, I want to say it was after Korea, if I remember right, was when America started going, holy shit, like, this has some stuff in it.
Yeah. Really?
Korea, Nam, Japan.
I think it was
one of those countries.
I thought it was taught all through the Middle Ages, through the Crusades and all that.
No, I'm talking America.
Oh.
Is when U.S. forces started going, hey.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, though, like, there's a straight line of military succession all through the ages.
Right.
And so, like, that was taught, like, even through the creation of America. Like,
right.
Washington knew of something.
Right, but us being so segregated from the rest of the world, we didn't really have much need for that. After we won our wars, it was us against us.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not a military strategist. Lao Tzu. He's the third in the Eastern philosophers, and there's kind of like the least about him, too.
I don't know much about him.
He either lived in the 6th century or the 4th century BC. Didn't really know. So he may have lived at the same time as the other two, or he may have lived a couple hundred years later.
Huh. Okay.
Mid-20th century consensus among scholars suggests that he wasn't just one person. He was a collection of multiple Taoist people, speakers, whatever.
Interesting.
But you can't really confirm one way or the other if he was one or multiple. He authored the Tao Te Ching, the fundamental writing for Taoism, which means living in harmony.
Cool.
So then the Eastern ones, these are the ones that we actually know about living on this side of the planet. They teach us European shit and not Chinese shit.
Not too much.
No.
But you are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I was. I'm done with that. Now we're moving into the European shit.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Little brief history on each one. So, Socrates. You know that name. Socrates. From Bill and Ted.
Yep. He was in that movie, right?
Yeah. Was he in both movies? I think they brought Socrates back for the second one, too.
I think so.
Yeah. God, I'm going to have to watch those movies.
They're making a third.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So Socrates lived 470 to 399 BC. So he came along a little bit after the Chinese ones did. He was Greek, didn't write hardly anything down. So most of what we know about him, we know from his student Plato, who you know as well, probably.
Yes. In fact, we're not entirely sure that the story of Socrates was not indulged greatly by Plato. Plato himself, of course, was historically a student of Socrates, so there's no reason to think that he didn't come up with this stuff. But a lot of it might have been indulged and have been Plato's idea, giving his teacher the credit for it.
Right. Another thing, because Plato wrote most of what we know about him, we don't really know where Plato stops and Socrates begins, as far as what they believe and think and everything.
But if you study philosophy a little bit, you realize that what we call now the Socratic method, Socratic thinking, is pretty straightforward. It's super logical, and no, you don't know where Socrates stopped and Plato began. It's still it's logically a straight line too.
Right.
So it's not. It all flows into itself, whether or not they came up with different parts of it.
Right. Yeah, but it's hard to say what Socrates came up with on his own because Plato wrote it down. Like, he might be giving Socrates credit for things that he didn't do, or vice versa. Like,
you know what he died on? Like how he died?
Nope.
Socrates said this.
No.
He was poisoned with hemlock.
Huh.
As an execution.
Okay. By who?
I forget. I don't know if I don't know if I ever knew specifically the person who did, but he was tried by a court and was found to be basically contributing to the delinquency of the youth. I forget what the exact charge was, but it's something like that, like corruption of the youth. That's what it was. And so, because he was questioning, the government, they were building democracy, but there had been obviously corrupt politicians coming in charge, or coming into power. He would be questioning them. He would piss them off, and so they ended up killing him. He was a political assassination.
See, I never got super into Greek history. Like,
before I went to science and math, I did philosophy major.
My brother got kind of into that shit for a little while. Like, you know how you get hyper focused on one thing for a couple months and then like completely walk away from it.
All the time.
Yeah, my brother went real hard into Greek history for a little bit and then just, I'm done with that.
Yeah. We do that weekly now.
Yeah. And then for like the week after, it's like, oh, I should have said that, and oh, I wish I'd have saw this.
Yeah.
So, some quotes by Socrates. No one desires evil. No one errs or does wrong willingly or knowingly. All virtue is knowledge. Virtue is sufficient for happiness. I know that I know nothing. And then, like we were saying, Socrates got Plato, and Plato in turn taught Aristotle. So there's like a lineage of Greek philosophers there.
Yeah, and Aristotle in turn taught Galileo, I believe.
Did he?
Huh. I think so. I might be wrong about that. I'm entirely wrong about that. Galileo was way after that.
I thought so. Like, way after.
Aristotle taught something. Anyway, Aristotle wrote Physics and Metaphysics, something I read as a philosophy major freshman.
Nerd.
Yeah.
So moving on from Socrates, Nietzsche. 1844 to 1900.
I think I spoke over that. What was that? How old?
1844 to 1900.
Oh, okay.
So he's the most recent one out of the group.
Yeah.
The only one there's actually photos of. Epic mustache. Have you ever seen a picture of Nietzsche?
I think I have, but I don't remember it now.
Fucking epic mustache.
We're gonna look at Nietzsche. We might post a picture of this guy.
So while he's looking that up, Nietzsche's big thing was nihilism, rejection of religion and moral principles. Basically, a whole like life is meaningless kind of point of view. You find him?
Yeah, he could save 4 women from drowning in that mustache.
That's a fucking hell of a mustache.
Yeah.
One of the big quotes that I'm sure everybody knows from Nietzsche is that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Oh, I didn't know that was him.
Yeah. Nietzsche, to me, is like the OG emo kid. Like,
yeah.
Just from a little bit of reading about him I did, like, he's like the OG emo kid.
Yeah.
To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Tell me that doesn't sound like high school emo kid poetry.
Yeah. Well, a lot of high school emo kids are pretty drawn to him, too.
Yeah. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. That one I actually really liked. Like, it actually makes sense. Some of in the rap battle, Confucius mentions the Third Reich when talking about Nietzsche, but from what I could find, it was Nietzsche's sister that changed and added nationalist shit to his writings after he died.
Oh, really?
I don't think Nietzsche ever gave a fuck about nationalism. At least from a little bit of reading I did.
I didn't know that.
No. Yeah. And then Voltaire, 1694
I thought he was a composer.
Voltaire?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what I was thinking.
No, Voltaire was 1694 to 1778. Advocated free speech, freedom of religion, separation of church and state. He wrote more than 20,000 letters and over 2,000 books and pamphlets.
Wow.
Victor Hugo, a French poet and novelist, was quoted to say, "To name Voltaire is to characterize the entire 18th century." Which, if you really think about what he wrote and said and everything, and look at the 18th century, that's the American Revolution, the French Revolution, all that. It really is.
I guess. I have no real perception of the 18th century. None.
It was a whole lot of people overthrowing their governments. Good times.
Voltaire was French?
Huh? Yeah.
Voltaire was French.
Yeah, Voltaire was French. Yeah, he was part of the French Enlightenment. Some of his quotes are, "Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities."
Yeah.
Which is just...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If the propaganda is good enough, they'll get you to go over on the other side of the world and kill them.
So yeah, he and Franklin were contemporaries, because that's like Franklin-esque.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he existed. He died in 1778.
Yeah.
The American Revolution started in 1774. 1776 we put it on paper.
Yeah. So yeah. And,
he would have been alive.
Traveled to France all the time.
There's a lot of similarities between Voltaire and Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
With the whole freedom of speech and shit like that. Both very...
Jefferson was also anti-religion.
Yeah. Another Voltaire quote, which I really like, is, "Common sense is not so common."
Oh, I didn't know that was him.
He's often misquoted as saying, "While I may not agree with what you say, I will defend to the death your right to say it."
Oh,
that was actually somebody saying something about Voltaire. Oh. It's misquoted as being from Voltaire, but it's about Voltaire.
Oh, okay.
So that wraps up the epic rap battles on philosophy.
So I'm going to tell you about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. All right. So I am going to tell you, my last one is going to be about Isaac Newton, played by Weird Al Yankovic.
He's a Weird Al played Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't watch that episode.
Oh, I think you did. No?
Yeah. I might have years ago or something, if it's an old one.
Oh.
But I don't remember this one at all.
That equation that I showed you, that's him saying it. Like, he spits it out. I'll read the quote.
Okay.
Like, at the end of this.
Okay.
And then I'll post the picture of what the equation looks like. It's
later.
Just so you know, Newton. Newton, not in conjunction, but simultaneously with Leibniz, invented calculus, which is what nature speaks. Just so you know.
Seeing all the sound in nature is just animals trying to get laid, so I don't think that's anything to do with math.
Underneath that, it's all math. Everything is math. Every single thing that ever happens is all math.
The reason to life is to just make the next generation. That's what nature sounds like. It's birds and bugs and mammals and whatever, just trying to get laid.
Yes, through calculus. Yes. You have no idea how often calculus has gotten me screwed. You probably have an idea. It's never gotten me laid at all.
I'm guessing approximately exactly 0.
Approximately and exactly 0. Yes. Anyway, so Isaac Newton rap battles with Bill Nye. So, Newton discovered gravity.
Who played Bill Nye?
Some dude.
Okay, so not anybody. It was Weird Al versus some random person.
Yes.
Okay.
And in my professional opinion, Weird Al wipes the floor with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like he's a professional musician for the last 30 years.
Of doing satire and weird shit.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Almost like
he originated the genre. Not really originated, but perfected.
Yes.
Has the longest career in it.
Billboard Top 500. Top 100.
He has a platinum fucking album.
Eat it.
His one album went platinum, right? There's
Amish Paradise.
No, not that one. That's the best Weird Al song, though.
I can't think of anything more off the top of my head. But there's like every single song. Like a Surgeon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gump.
She is in my head. Wait, no. That's not what I conflated songs. Blum. She's in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Star Wars one.
Star Wars one.
The episode 1 one. What the hell was that one?
We should do a show on him.
On Weird Al?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of content there.
Yeah. He's got a long career.
Yeah. Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Since before I was a kid.
I had the one with Amish Paradise, whatever that one was.
I don't know.
He's got the Coolio hair on the cover. I remember that.
Yeah.
I borrowed that from a friend in middle school.
Jesus.
And just never gave it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have no idea where it is now, but I remember that I borrowed it and just never gave it back.
It's on VHS somewhere.
No, it's a CD.
Anyway, so Newton discovered gravity. There is a measurement of force named the Newton. The measurement is 1 kilogram meter per second squared, just so you know.
Yeah, they use that instead of foot pounds or horsepower. Foot pounds.
Yeah. It's the metric version.
I know that from watching Mighty Car Mods.
Oh.
They're an Australian car show.
But instead of foot pounds, you say newtons, and just that's it. Anyway, Newton was born on Christmas. He claimed that he was God's gift, and in a way, he kind of was. We wouldn't be on this podcast without Newton. For instance, all of this is calculus.
Okay.
In the rap battle, one of his lines was, "I unlock the stars that you were dancing with," and that's a reference to, well, he was an astronomer, and Bill Nye was on Dancing with the Stars. He was very sexy on there. Do you see that?
No.
Yeah, I wrote myself a little bit to it.
We got in an argument like a year or so ago about Bill Nye being a scientist. Do you remember this?
Yes. Yes.
Bill Nye isn't a scientist.
Yes, he is.
He's a TV personality with a degree in engineering.
Yes, engineering is science.
No.
It is. Okay, I went to school for astrophysics.
That is a science.
The engineers had to know what I know, plus engineering.
Uh-huh.
Engineers are...
A scientist discovers things, an engineer builds things once they're discovered.
And no.
That's my
No. Engineers discover shit. That's the wrong definition. That is not true.
Regardless, he's not a scientist. He's a TV personality.
He's still a scientist.
He's not.
He is a scientist. Yes.
What has he created?
That doesn't make you a scientist.
He's still just a TV personality.
Okay. Well, anyway. So, where was I? So, Bill Nye taught kids on PBS.
As a TV guy.
So, and at the end of Newton's life, he was doing experiments himself involving mercury, which drove him insane. Towards the end of his life, he spent his days researching alchemy. He believed that the old Greek stories were different alchemical recipes to make different stuff. Different gods were different, were references to different materials.
Huh.
So
alchemy is interesting shit.
But there was one line in the rap that Weird Al Yankovic says, and I am going to read it to you because I wrote it down. I started and stopped this all over. In fact, I'm going to play some of it too. I'll play the entire line. I had to start and stop this because he said it. He says,
I can't hear you over your paper.
What? He says, the integral sec y dy from 0 to 1/6 pi is log to base e of the square root of 3 times the 64th power of 1. And he says that all in like 2 seconds. Anyway, I will write that. Well, I have written that equation down, and I will post what that looks like too. Anyway, the answer to all that, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson cameos, and he says that the answer to all that is the number I. You know what the number I is?
Nope.
The number I is the square root of -1. It's an imaginary wonder. Well, it's an imaginary number. If you know anything about the square root is, the square root is the result of two of the same numbers being multiplied together.
Right.
If you do that, the necessary result, since they are the same thing, the same sign, is a positive number. So you can't have the square root of a negative number.
Right.
So the square root of negative number is I, which stands for imaginary. Do the math for you. Won't get you laid. So yeah.
So that was our. So definitely.
Who was who in that? Who said that?
Huh?
Who was who said that? Not for us. We know who said that. But
Oh.
Email us. Tell us who said what. Or don't, because that's a stupid question to answer. Bother yourself to email.
It's a 50-50. Oh, Scott was the second one, or Scott was the first one, and Darby was the first one, and Scott, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
So this has been. It's not as good with our name. We should have really came up with a better name that we could do epic rap battles of history style too.
Yeah. I'm a bird.
What the fuck was that? That sounded like a rooster.
Yeah. That's what, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this is Higher Minds Podcast. Where can you find us?
Oh, Jesus. That was terrible. I don't know what that was.
Good. No. That's how we roll. Yeah. Where can you find us?
We're at highermindspodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Twitter.
And Twitter.
Instagram.
Higher Minds Podcast.
YouTube.
Or on YouTube, Higher Minds Podcast.
SoundCloud.
Higher Minds Podcast on SoundCloud.
Gmail.
At Gmail. HigherMindsPodcast@gmail.com.
And highermindspodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
I'm Scott.
I'm Bumper Darby.
Deuces.
And new music.